Welcome, viewers, to the final frontier. Alec and
Paul.
And we're going to bring you the second iteration of our segment, Fan Fixes.
Where we fix old, bad archetypes.
Bad.
In only 3 cards.
That's right, only 3.
Last time, we fixed vampires. And it seems like the deck that you guys want to see next is...
Little green people.
Aliens.
Let's give you a rundown of how aliens work.
They're all based around A counters. They can accumulate on monsters, and their goal is to get as many A counters on as many opponents' monsters as possible.
Yep, so they can get effects and activate cards, and plus, basically.
In addition to that, the A counters also weaken opponents' monsters when they battle with aliens.
You just have to have a monster that says a monster that battles with this card that has A counters has attack reduced.
They're reptiles, so there is some cool synergy there. King of the Feral Imps.
That's true.
Offerings to the snake deity.
First, I always have to mention Alien Kid. When your opponent summons a monster, it slaps a counter on it immediately.
There's also Alien Telepath, which it can remove an A counter from anywhere on the field to destroy a spell or trap, which is really pretty good. You know, it makes good use of your A counters.
Then AMMONITE, which I know Alien players are really familiar with since it special summons aliens from the grave when it is summoned.
Then you've also got some pseudo boss monsters, Alien Overlord,
and Mother,
which are a bit underwhelming, but you can summon them kind of easily. You know, they have neat effects. Oh, one more I forgot to mention, SHOCKTROOPER.
Oh yeah, the vanilla.
Which oddly enough, the vanilla is actually one of the better monsters. 1900 attack.
Most respectable of them all.
And because he's a vanilla, you can use him with such cards as Rescue Rabbit.
And we have seen that in Bill.
Unexpected Die.
Aliens, they are a ramp deck. And they don't have any type of innate protection, so they can ramp up properly.
Right, that's kind of the problem. It's distributing those A counters is really slow. In addition to that, like, it's also really tough to keep the A counters on opponents' monsters because, you know, if I'm playing a synchro deck against aliens, then they get these A counters on my monsters and I just sync them off. Or I Xyz summon, or I fuse.
The A counters are now gone, so...
Yeah, and so like now we just kind of can't.
Possibly a full turn of work is wasted. Number 1, a new field spell. We heard a lot of people in the comments asking for a new field spell.
Yeah, for
sure.
And
I thought that what better field spell than Alien Homeworld?
Yes.
The first effect. When a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, place 1 A counter on it. If a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack and defense for each A counter during damage calculation only.
Gotta have that tech, yes.
3. Once per turn, you can normal summon 1 alien monster in addition to your normal summon or set.
I like it.
4. If this card is in the field zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon an alien monster from your deck. You can only activate this effect once per turn.
We did this mostly just to ensure that there's always an A counter on everything your opponent summons.
Because right as far as the deck stands right now, you have to do some pretty tricky plays to just get A counters on things. We felt like the field spell will really speed up this process.
I like that it just sort of passively puts A counters on every new thing. So you're not having to waste, you know, a specific card like, you know, just like all those like slow cards where it's like okay, this puts an A counter on something. You shouldn't have to really do that. With this, unlike, let's say, with recombination devices, when the monster gets summoned, splat, A counter. Like, automatically, and even if they sync it off, then the synchro is gonna get an A counter.
This really helps with putting multiple A counters, because now they will initially have 1, and you can work to put your second or third, however many you're trying to put on there.
Yeah, and if you have like Alien Kid on the field, then they're actually getting 2 right off the bat.
That's right.
Next.
That is, if a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack and defense for each A counter.
Yeah, so that's just the obligatory text, I would say.
We felt that not enough alien monsters actually had this text, which kind of made it awkward.
Yeah, what ends up happening with aliens a lot is like sometimes you finally have A counters on a monster, but then what ends up happening is like you don't have a card that mentions that, and it's just awkward.
I know, Cosmic Fortress Golgoth doesn't even have it on there.
Yeah, a lot of their cards, like a lot of random aliens don't. You know, Alien Ammonite, for example, if you only had Alien Ammonite and SHOCKTROOPER or something, then you wouldn't actually be able to get that benefit.
Nothing would happen.
So that's just what we feel obligatory.
Then we have the normal, once per turn, you can normal summon a set, 1 alien monster in addition to your normal summon or set. Well, I mispronounced that, but whatever.
That bit. That just deals with the speed problem.
Yeah, because right now, you really kind of, if you want to be fast as far as like synchroing, you have to like send something to grave, and then summon your Ammonite, which isn't very reliable. We felt the field spell this could help speed up aliens quite a bit because you want to get multiple aliens on the field. You want to start stacking these effects.
Yeah, where you can actually use this
gain
stuff.
Some advantage.
Because like the big problem is just like, you know, you're sitting here, you kind of have some A counters, but like you can only summon one alien per turn. So like, now you can, you know, summon your telepath and summon your kid in the same turn, or summon 2 ammonites because, you know, ammonite's effect isn't actually like a hard once per turn. So
you can do that.
You actually are able to get more aliens on the field, and I think that helps the ramp strategy actually make a difference sooner. And then lastly, we just gave it a float.
Yeah, you know, because every card has to float nowadays.
Yeah, grabbing any alien from your deck is really pretty strong.
Yeah, we felt that it's a fair effect for a deck that has a hard time getting its monsters out.
And considering how vulnerable this deck is already to something like a Twin Twisters, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. So we've got Alien Secret Weapon.
What are they working on?
So when this card is activated, you add 1 alien card from your deck to your hand. Also, any monster with 2 or more A counters has its effects negated. And of course, if a monster with an A counter battles an alien, it loses 300 attack and defense for each. So, first of all, it's kind of a tinky. That's great. I mean, you know, who doesn't like to get free searches? What's cool about that, too, is Cosmic Fortress.
Golgoth.
It can bounce this card back to your hand, and then like you can reset it and, you know, flip it again, and you get another search. And so I thought that was, you know, it's pretty reasonable, I'd say.
So, you know, aliens didn't really have a way of dealing with monster effects at all, really. Oh, it can deal with a lot of things. But I felt having this extra effect, because we can get these A counters out so fast now.
Yeah, you have this in the field spell. It's like everything's gonna have an A counter.
If you first turn the field spell, this and kid, it adds 3 cards. But if you were to do that, then your opponent summons get their effects. You can essentially turn off your opponent's first turn.
Yeah, you get like basically a skill drain themed, and it even is like searchable, which is pretty nice.
And of course, it comes with that beautiful little passive effect.
Yeah.
It's important to mention these effects do stack.
Yeah, those counters, like, you know, if you think about it, having the field spell out and then, you know, having this and having any other thing that's making A counters means your opponents might be losing like 600 attack per counter or even 900.
Just for 1, and you can easily put 2.
I mean, imagine like having, you know, the counters making them lose like 900 attack for each, and they only have 2 counters, they're losing 1800 attack. Like, it's kind of scary to think about. And then finally,
we got you guys a new boss monster.
Because Overlord and stuff wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, he's cool, but we thought this guy's a bit cooler.
What do we have?
Alien Overseer. Reptile Dark Effect monster, 2800 attack, 1600 defense. First effect, you can special summon this card by tributing 2 monsters with A counters from either player's side of field. Alien monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, a little bit of defense. And once per turn during either player's turn, you can target 1 card on your opponent's side of field, remove 3 A counters from anywhere on the field, and if you do, banish that card. Quick effect.
Yeah, so let's break this down.
All right, first, why did we pick a boss monster?
Yeah, I feel like the existing boss monsters aren't bad. In fact, you know, Cosmic Fortress Golgar, it can pop cards. So, I mean, like, it has a decent effect, and it's got like 2600 attack, so it's pretty good.
It's respectable.
But it does have a couple of fatal flaws. The first being, it is not actually an alien.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that means it doesn't get any A counter benefits no matter what. And also, it's still just kind of a little bit dated in its design.
It doesn't protect itself. It doesn't float.
What you'll notice about this guy is that he's actually summonable when your field spell dies, for example.
That's true.
You can summon this thing straight from the deck. And it's got 2800 attack, and in addition to being, you know, an alien, that means that like you'll get all of these attack nerfs that your opponent has to deal with, and so, you know, that just kind of becomes a problem then too.
We felt they needed more removal in this deck, and we were like,
I feel like it makes sense, you know, like your opponent's monsters are infected with the A counters, and now they're basically kind of yours to control, so you literally just take them.
I was thinking of like, you know, Alien from Alien. You know, the xenomorph thing. How it would plant its egg in you and it would bust out of you and it would grow into a full-grown alien. So that's the kind of idea there, that making you feel like having A counters on your monsters is a real problem, because at any time
they could go.
Tribute them both, bam, I got my boss monster.
Also, your aliens can't be targeted. We decided to include that as blanket removal or not removal, but protection for all of your aliens, not just him.
Because aliens had no protection. There was a defensive card in the deck.
And so I think that actually is really good because, you know, he can't be targeted, so, you know, he's not going to be getting hit by just a random breakthrough skill type of card. If they don't, like, Solemn Strike his summon, then he gets tough to deal with. And all your other aliens get that, too.
Yeah, he puts your opponent in a very awkward situation where unless they have, you know, mass removal, they have to try and swing over a guy who has, if you did this right, he potentially has all those attack nerfs on your opponent's
loads of attack nerfs. And then finally, we made him a trident, basically.
Yeah, we had to make him good, all right?
So you remove 3 A counters, which is a bit of a steep cost since, you know, you're trying to keep these A counters around.
We want a lot of them, but we felt like giving a quick effect banish.
That's pretty strong. And, you know, also, if you have, like, multiples of this, like, you know, you can use them, like, each one, so there's, like, a hard once per turn on him. So, you know, getting out 2 of them, that's, like, a lot of control, just being able to banish things on the spot.
We felt it's fair, because, oh, yeah, you can get 2 of them on the field, but do you have the A counters to back that up?
Yeah, and actually the design philosophy with this was kind of similar to something like Masterpiece, where he himself does not generate A counters. He's meant to come out when you already have field control with all of your A counters, and he just makes use of them. So that was the idea here. So I think that's...
Yep, those are our 3 cards. Run through them. We have our Homeworld Field Spell, the Secret Weapon, Continuous Trap, and Overseer, our new main deck boss.
So, what do you guys think? Could aliens be competitive with this support? I mean, I personally think that while it probably wouldn't be like a top tier deck, I think that this in tandem with what they've already got would make them a pretty decent rogue contender.
Oh, for sure. Just because this deck, if it ramps up, can be pretty... Ugh.
You can honestly feel almost hopeless. Monsters' effects being negated, banishes happening every turn.
Yeah.
Attack
play the counter game. If you can get these counters on right, it doesn't really matter what you're playing against. You'll win. So...
Yeah, and you know, you still have the, you know, Offerings of the Snake Deity, King of the Feral Imps.
Yeah, so the deck can be pretty consistent. It can be pretty powerful. So yeah,
that's it. Hope you guys liked this episode of Fan Fixes. Let us know in the comments, what deck should we work on next? How good of a job do we do?
Let us know. Drop it in the comments.
We'll be there, we'll be answering, we'll be reading, and that's gonna be it. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.